Hello, hello. How are we? How are we? What is up today? How were your weekends? How is your Monday? Tell me. You know I want to hear everything you got. There's already a fur on my lip. I can feel it. I'm not going to be able to get it, but that's life with cats. Hello, Seven. Hello. How are you? How are you? Welcome. Pretty fine. I'm glad to hear it. I like it when you guys have had good days and good weekends and you've been enjoying yourself. Anything new? I saw in the chat you said you got done playing a game called The Isle. What is that game? What is The Isle? I do not know it. Please explain it to me. I want to hear about it. So please tell me all about how it works, what it does. I know you were talking about playing the one with like the cozy game with the little like Children of Light or something like that. I don't think this is the same game. Hey TK, what's up? What's up? How's life, TK? Is everything doing better? Because I know things were going crazy down at the Kitty Inn and stuff. Is everything going better? How's life been? Are things looking up? I'm sending you good energy. I want to make sure everything's okay. Silly game where you and the other players play as a dinosaur in a big map. Oh, see, now I gotta look this up. What you mean you play as dinosaurs? The Isle game. Let's see. Oh, no, you really just play as dinosaurs. Oh, dang. You just full ass, you're a dinosaur and you walk through the world. All right. Fair enough. Okay. We lost the sale, as you know. We found a place to lease for a few years. Okay. I mean, at least you found somewhere, you know? Like, you always gotta look for the positive in the negative, but also sometimes you just gotta, sometimes you need to take that moment to, like, live in those emotions that are like, damn, this sucks, you know what I mean? But on this end of it, I'm sending you good energy, and I'm glad that you at least have found a place for a few years, and, you know, the world looks up, and it'll be in your favor. You just gotta keep going. And we will always be here to support you and to make sure to send you all the good energy. So, you know, it's coming your way. And we feel for you, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we are here to talk about it. Best to look up Isle Evrima, newest version. Okay. Isle Evrima. What is this? Oh, this is more dinosaurs. Dinosaurs on planet. Dang. You know, I will say this is a kind of U-coded game, 7, but I also am not convinced that it is a U-coded game. This is an interesting one for you to pull up. So what do you do exactly? I see that you play as different kinds of dinosaurs. You can have multiple people on the world. What do? Like, do you fight each other? Do you try to survive? What exactly is, like, the plot or the point of the game? Because I'm curious. Yep, large warehouse area. Thank you. Okay, large warehouse is good. You know. Large warehouse can be good. The dinosaur game sounds like silly fun. That's what I'm thinking, too. I was just playing as the Ceratosaurus. I'll look that one up, too. You just survive and be an animal, see? And that means it is silly fun. Oh, I'm glad you're playing a silly fun game. You know, sometimes we need shit like that. And also, silly fun games are kind of your vibe. Ceratosaurus. Oh, cool. He's got like one of those forehead things that are like very made of bone and used to crack stuff. That's cool. Well, dang. Cozy games and like just kind of silly, chill, even games where you're silly and chill and play as a dinosaur are still fun to play with like a group of friends because you can sort of mess around. You don't have to worry about, like, we gotta, like, be a team and, like, fight these guys and try and go up in the ranks and, like, blah, blah, blah. And then you get mad at your friends because they're not as invested in, like, competing as you are and then blah, blah, right? It's nice to just be chill and have a fun time, be as silly, be in dinosaurs. My favorite medium carnivore, let's go. We love it. I also love, just in, like, actual paleontology, how much we learn every year about dinosaurs that we either were incorrect about or just, like, didn't know. Like, I loved the evolution. I can feel the fur on my face. Oh my god. I'm not gonna be able to get it though. Nope. I love the evolution of how for so long we were like, dinosaurs are giant alligators and lizards and they're scaly and they're teethy and they're bleh. And in reality, most dinosaurs are just birds. Even the ones that we think are like scaly big alligators, they're just birds. They're just reptiles with feathers. Like, I love that so much. There's some moments in the IO that is silly and chill, but the other half is just pure chaos or a horror game, especially if you go to get a drink or try swimming across a river. Okay, but like, it's still entertaining, you know? Chaos is entertaining. I think when you've got a group of friends, that's what you want. It'll start chill and humble and simple, but eventually it's going to turn into chaos. And chaos is fun, because then you can get stupid and silly with your friends, and you don't have to worry about, like, things meaning something, you know? It's not like, oh, this thing's important to me and you people are, like, letting me down. It's just fucking around as a dinosaur, which I think is fire. And I'm glad you got to play it. How long were you playing for? Did you guys have, like, a good go? Was it with the people that you live with, or was it with, like, online friends? What was the energy? And how did you find this game? Who just found a random, like, indie let's play as dinosaur game? Was it you? I wouldn't be surprised if it was you, because I feel like that's up your alley. I'm getting these little, like, ads now when I look down for September. 30% off new subs. Yeah, 30% off new subs, Twitch, because you raised it to fucking, like, $10. Get the fuck out of here. Swear to God, if there was, like, if I could just have a Patreon, even Patreon takes, like, 30% now. There needs to be a platform where it's, like, you go straight to the person and you don't have to worry about all this other bullshit. It don't matter. It don't matter. It's mainly terrifying to go across a river or just any relatively deep body of water because of the Deinosuches. Alligators. Just gigantic alligators. Hey, Kingslayer, what's up? Okay, so Deinosuches are just gigantic alligators, but I appreciate that. I found it from a YouTube short. I played for a few hours in a mix pack. That's crazy. You know, Seven, you are one of those rare individuals that I feel like they make ads for, but in reality, like, you know, yeah, okay, so us average people watch these weird ass ads on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, and we're like, who the fuck do they make these ads for? You are the people they make these ads for, because you are the only person I have ever met in any capacity who is like, yeah, I was just scrolling through YouTube Shorts one day, and I saw this ad for a weird-ass dinosaur game and figured it wasn't a scam, so I just figured I'd play it, and it was fun. Like, I'm so glad you are a person who does that, because otherwise you would not be in this community, because that's how you found us. But, like, at the same time, that's crazy. Do you understand how crazy that is? I love that for you. Lots of people agree about that Twitch money. I bet a new competitor will emerge. I hope so, TK. I genuinely hope so. What's funny is, like, if YouTube didn't suck at live streaming, I would put it all onto YouTube and then take, like, support. Even though Patreon sucks, because it still takes, like, 30%, I would take support through, like, Ko-Fi or Patreon or something, rather than giving your money to Twitch and they take like bajillion percent and they cost like $10. That shit's dumb. But unfortunately, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. Twitch is where you gotta be for this kind of shit. But like, it sucks balls because of that kind of like monetization. And I've been talking to other TTRPG creators and other creators in the space on like, how do you separate and do things on different platforms so that people aren't, you know, paying a shit ton of money to places like Amazon and Bezos for Twitch, and then they still can support you, you know what I mean? So I've been looking into a couple things, but I don't know what people would be interested in receiving in order to do something like a Ko-Fi or a Patreon, you know? Like, I don't know what I have to offer for that, because everything I do is live, so I don't know that there's anything for me to offer, but I don't want to bore y'all with that. That's not why I talk to y'all about that. That's not your job, right? And I don't want to sound like I'm like, give me money. That's not your job. That's not why you're here. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what I would offer in order to open that. I do know one of our fucking cameras broke. Just fully doesn't work. And I went into Razer and was like, yo, how do I fix this issue? Went into like Reddit threads, Google threads. Google was like, you can't. It's like an inherent software inside of the Razer camera issue. I was like, great. Go to Razer to try and get like it returned or fixed. Nope, everything's expired. So nope, it's just a dead camera that I can't use. So I was like, all right, gotta buy a new camera before we film season 2. And I am not getting another Razer Kiyo Pro because these things suck balls. But it's fine. Anyways, y'all don't need to hear me rant. That's not fun to listen to. It wasn't even ad, it was just a few second long video of a dude getting jumped by a few raptors. 7, I love the way you function. I love that you watch some random person in a fucking YouTube Shorts ad and you're like, oh, somebody, a funny, you know what you are, 7? I love this for you. 7, you are the epitome of the meme that goes, haha, funny, TikTok ad funny. Haha, funny, I click button, I pay. Like, that's you. Like, oh yeah, friendship, it's interesting. It's one of those things where that's the way it is. That sucks. You could probably sell it as it is on eBay. I will probably try TK, or I'll honestly give it to someone who can use it for parts. It's one of those things that is what it is. I want to create content like this, and so I pay the price for paying content like this, and I'm not gonna just not do it. It just means I'm gonna have to get a better camera because the Razer Kiyo Pros are fully unreliable, which sucks balls. Like, even this one right now is doing that thing where it fuzzes up the video and it can't, it's like fuzzing. You can see it sparkling. Hate that. Can't turn it off. It's not a thing. So I just gonna have to, I wish I knew technology enough to know what brand to get, to like know what thing to use. You know what I mean? But it's okay. I swear things break always right after warranty. It's so true, Friendship Plays. It's so true. I swear they know exactly how long it takes for the average device to break, and so they wait until the warranty is up. I guarantee it. Monkey see, monkey do. That's exactly you, 7. I love it. I love it so much. You're like the Neanderthal version of me do too, and I love that for you so much. I just watched, Game Grumps just got back into playing Danganronpa 3. And there's a character who, like, is so fucking intelligent, but he was, like, grew up in the woods, so he like, doesn't know, like, human language very well. So he's got this super intelligent voice, and he talks like, I hear, let us discuss thing. And, like, that, and that is how I picture you. It's, like, intelligent, but you talk like a Neanderthal, and I love it. Let me ask my techies. I have 2 of them. Please do. Please do, because I have to replace it. I might as well get something that works. I mean, I'm not looking to spend hundreds, but I need something that can last like 6 hours. So it can record fully for 6 hours. Whether that needs to be a camera and I buy one of those fake extenders where you put it into the battery and then you plug it into the wall, that's fine. But it needs to last like 6 hours or more on one go, recording things without fucking up. I don't need audio. I don't care about audio on it. I just need a good visual. Like 1080p, 1920, can record for 6 hours. That's it. I mean, that ain't half wrong. I love it, 7. There's a game, too. Smosh Games have played it, but there's a game which is, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a Neanderthal-style game. And you get this balloon wooden club, this fake wooden club that's a balloon. And if someone speaks in more than one syllable, you smack them with it. It's funny. It's funny. Researchers taught monkeys capitalism with nuts, I believe. Theta, I love the way you tell us that you are present watching a stream because it's always the craziest shit. I will read the coolest, craziest fact in my chat and I'll look over and I'll go, Theta's here. I love that. Oh my God. That is crazy to learn. I know little like weird facts about different things that I find interesting. Hey Ghosty, how are you? How are you? 7, you do need that game. That game would be hilarious for you to play. Just boom, 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 batting people over the heads with a balloon bat. That is hysterical. But like, so there's weird random things I know. So the monkeys with capitalism thing, I did not know that, Theta. That's news to me. Fun fact, did y'all know, if you guys know the gorilla that knows sign language, I don't remember her thing, I want to say she was a Jane Goodall thing, that shit's fake. It's always been fake, it's fully a lie, it's not real. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, I'm not. The gorilla never knew sign language. Never could speak, never could communicate, was not doing so. And Jane Goodall's delusional. If you look into the history of Jane Goodall, she might have done some important work, but she's crazy. As most people in the biology and zoology and animal science field are. That's all I'm saying. Don't worry, I believe in evolution. I'm just saying. Oh my God, speaking of evolution, sorry, that made me think of this. I'm Catholic school child, right? For those of you who are not that, have you ever heard of the Lord help me, thank God I went to a Catholic school who was very big on like, no, science is real. This shit happens. Thank Lord Jesus, my biology teacher, wherever he's at, wherever he's living, if he ever sees this, I hope he knows he was the best fucker on the planet. I'm not gonna say his name out of privacy, but he was amazing. He was very, like, strict about, like, evolution is real. I won't let them tell you any different. Hey, Kimberly, welcome. It's good to see you. There's a song. There's, like, a Christian song. I'm here for the fun? Hell yeah, it's always fun here. There's a song in, like, Die Hard, like, oh, there's a word for it. It's called, shoot. I want to say it's is it evangelicism? Oh, what is the not belief in evolution called? Creationism. Thank you. So there's a creationism song that we learned in high school, specifically because our science teacher was like, I'm gonna make you watch this so you understand how fucking stupid this idea is, and you guys can make fun of the song. And we would make fun of the song all the time, and the only part that I ever remember from the song was, I don't believe in evolution, I know that God made me, I came from Jesus and not a chimpanzee. It was the best part ever, and we would make fun of it all the time. Anytime anyone did something stupid as fuck, we would go, I came from Jesus and not a chimpanzee. Wow, that unlocked a memory. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Coco, she died a handful of years ago. I've loved her since childhood. She was a good ape. I've accepted that she didn't communicate. I have further facts. Poor Coco. Yeah. She was a fine gorilla. She was a fine ape. Not saying she was bad. I'm just saying, and you know, rest in peace. Same thing with Harambe and all that shit. I'm just saying she never communicated with us. Because that concept of language and the style that she was taught, we have pushed into that kind of research because there's been a current movement, which, don't get me wrong, I tried out this part too, of like buttons and animals talking with buttons. I tried it on my cats for a little bit, and then the scientists and like the researchers, the behaviors started pushing back and were like, hey, no, we said this when Coco died. We're not letting you promote it again. That is called facilitated learning. And that is not real. It is not safe, and it's actually very harmful if you continue the idea that it is real, because then people use it for humans. And there are people out there who still use it for humans who cannot communicate, and they are essentially lying. And they're pretending like those people have agency when they don't. So like, it was a whole thing that I didn't know fell into that category until like I saw a thing on TikTok that was like, you know, woman claims such and such is saying this, and then you go to the comments, it's like facilitated learning and all that jazz, and I was like, dang, and I went into a big old rabbit hole. It was interesting. It was really cool. It was really, really cool. And it's interesting from this point of view of science, because science is not, they've never been like, hey, animals don't communicate, people don't communicate. That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is it is not that simple to teach somebody a language, to teach an animal a language, and just because they can't communicate through the language we use does not mean that they're not communicating. Like, what we should be doing is studying their form of communication. Body language, for one. Body language is huge. Noises, sights, sounds, etc. Like, stop trying to give them words, because that's not how that works. Looks at the picture of Trini Kwan Choi Trang. Crying, I miss her so much. She was my teammate and best friend. I do not know who that is, Kimberly, but rest in peace. Rest in peace for all the people who need it. The abuse angle is new to me. Yeah, so Theta, so I didn't know about it. Now, to be entirely fair, I am applying a bit of a jump by saying facilitated learning onto the idea of animals using sign language or button language. There's a little bit of a jump there. I think they're close enough that I would associate them together. But facilitated, and I might be using the wrong word in saying learning. I'm pretty sure facilitated is correct. Facilitated learning, when I was watching the TikTok and looked into it a teeny bit, again, salted Google, please. Basically, what was happening, it's the concept that for people who could not speak and who couldn't, like, who couldn't communicate either by speaking or by indicating to things, there was this concept that if you gave them a board full of a bunch of words, that they could choose the words they wanted in order to communicate in our language. What they found was that was not what was occurring. Instead, people who were in this, with this disability, were just picking random words that we were assigning meaning to. So the TikTok I saw was this woman who was convinced that this adult disabled man, mentally disabled man, was mentally capable and had given full permission and loved her, and they were in a relationship because she used this form of facilitated learning where you click random words, and she refused to believe that that's not how, like, that, well, he's clicking these words and he's telling me he loves me and he's an adult so he can make his own choices. It's abuse, because that's not him making choices. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what that means. So, that kind of jazz. Hey, gal, what's up, what's up, what's up? Gonna be lurking but saying hi? I'm glad you're here. Feel free to lurk. It's totally okay. We can do anything and anything tonight. I'm happy to chat with folks if we got things we want to talk about. I'm happy to bust out my trivia again. We got a good amount of questions in, but I figure we can just add more to it. The 2 activities I think we're going to do for Halloween are that trivia. And then I'm going to run a mix of a werewolf and Blood on the Clock Tower game. So if you guys don't know what Blood on the Clock Tower is, it is like advanced werewolf. But a lot of the streamers I'm trying to get to join us, I don't think they're even ever have going to play werewolf before. So I don't want to throw them into Blood on the Clock Tower. And also, Blood on the Clock Tower is really for in person, or you have to specifically like set up a visual, because there's a lot of terminology that focuses on like where you're sitting in regards to other people. So I've taken out some of those roles and mixed it in with a werewolf game. So those are going to be our 2 activities for Halloween. So we can always make more trivia stuff, so I don't mind doing that. But I'm happy to chat with y'all about anything you want to talk about. I do want to let you guys know I will not be live Wednesday. I won't be live Wednesday, so you won't have me then. We are live on Saturday. And Saturday is a special stream. It is not an activity stream. It is not a chatting stream. It is a special stream. We're going to have a special little fun surprise that I'm not going to spoil. But I will say absolutely everyone will find the stream, what's the word I'm looking for? Cute and adorable. And even if you can't stay the whole time, if you pop in to see why the Saturday stream is cute and adorable, I promise it will make you smile. So that's a little hint for Saturday. That's a little hint for Saturday. It's going to be special in exchange for not streaming on Wednesday. Thank you, that makes sense. I imagine that it's very different from nonverbal disabled people using communication devices. Yes, Theta. So there are real, and as far as we understand in our current science standing, communication devices for nonverbal people. There are real ones. It's just that the facilitated one is not real. So real ones include, what's his name? The gentleman who spoke, is it Stephen Hawking? Who was in a chair and spoke through a digital computer thing? That one is real. So that form of communication is real. The form of communication in, actually, believe it or not, sign language for a lot of nonverbal people is a real communication style. It's just not for Coco the gorilla. But different forms of sign language or adapted sign language are a real communication style. And I think it's not the word touchy one, because that's the fake one. But there's a form of it that's very, very similar that is considered authentic. Let's see if I can look it up. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Saturday stream, got it. Yeah, it's gonna be cute and adorable and excited. So the technical definition of facilitated communication is when the person who is the caretaker is helping the disabled person use the communication device. So if the person who is disabled or nonverbal cannot use whatever the communication method is fully independently and by themselves, and by that I don't think they mean like mechanical adaptations or computer adaptations. I think they mean like other human interference. Then it's not considered a legit form of communication. That's why facilitated communication is like not accepted and not approved and not supported, because the concept is you're giving them a keyboard and being like, oh, are you trying to hit that button? Let me help you. When they can't get to that piece on the keyboard. and the fact that you are even trying to assist immediately discredits anything that individual was trying to communicate, because you don't know, right? And you're inserting yourself into a place. So I think that's the difference between what constitutes currently in our standing of science, what constitutes a real communication device for somebody and what does not constitute a real communication device. Is if there is any form of like human assistance or interference, it is facilitated communication and then not applicable, because there's that balance there if you don't know what they're trying to say. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. It's the same concept of like a Ouija board, where that thing won't move if you don't add things to it. You know what I mean? So that kind of jazz. Yeah, and rapid prompted method, which is just pointing at certain things, also is one of those where it's like, nope, that's not considered communication. Let's see. I want to see if they list real communication. Useful clarifications, yeah, Theta. And always, you know, grain of salt with everything that I say, because I am not a person who has studied this, right? I'm on Google looking to see if they're telling me the real forms of communication. Which is what I would like, because this could be our conversation for the night. I would love to talk about this kind of shit. I'm down. Let me see if they do say what are real forms of communication. Okay, what are real forms of communication for people who can't speak? Doo-doo-doo. It's not giving me what I want. Let's see. Nope. It's not giving me the other answers, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what I would type into the search in order to stay on the topic that we're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. But it's an interesting topic. It really is. I had to take an elective in college that dealt with a certain stretch of evolution. I think it was primate evolution. Is what it was. And so when we got to Koko the gorilla, it was so interesting to learn about the fact that all of that was fake and none of it was real. And the issues with Jane Goodall and other people like her. And it was like so interesting to learn about animal communication and how we sort of assign feelings and emotions to things and that kind of jazz. It's really, really interesting. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool sometimes to think about and to try to figure out. Yeah, exactly, Kimberly. Like, that kind of stuff is so interesting. And it's funny because this is not necessarily related, but I'm like somebody who, my mom loved Planet of the Apes, and I enjoyed, like, the modern remakes of Planet of the Apes. I know people don't like them, but I like them. It has Andy Serkis, and Andy Serkis is my king. I fucking love that man. I want to do motion capture so badly, and he does it so well. He's the king of motion capture. I love it. So I'm a sucker for the modern day Planet of the Apes, which I haven't watched the latest one. I need to, but apparently it's oof. But they're all oof, so I want to watch it. But it's interesting to see that kind of stuff because the concept of any sort of creature, even chimpanzees, taking over the planet and like dethroning the master, like the master species probably isn't correct, but like humans, right? It is not comprehensible because of how slow evolution works, that it's literally not possible. And also, to be very clear, that's not how evolution works. Evolution doesn't just go, make you better, make you better, make you better, make you better, make you better. Uh-oh, they're the best species on the planet now, kill all the humans. That's not how evolution works. Evolution makes creatures over thousands of years, mind you, but it makes creatures more suited to the environment they are trying to live in. No animal is trying to live in our level of environment. They will adapt to things that we have done that are man-made consequences, but they're not trying to live in our environment. Jane Goodall is, as far as I know, a reputable primatologist. The woman you're thinking of is Penny Patterson. It is entirely possible. Let me look it up. Exactly, Kimberly. Let's see. Yeah, it seems that way. Oh, here, let me look this up. Hold on, I'm getting there. Yeah, I think you're correct. Heh, Kimberly, yeah, damn dirty gorillas. Yeah, Thade, I think you're correct. It looks like Goodall is just famous for the picture with Coco. Versus Patterson, who was the language person. So, yeah. So, scratch that, Jazz. We mean Patterson, not Goodall. I feel like there's a third person in there that we learned about in my primate class who was, like, not great. But I don't remember who she is, because I don't think it was Patterson. It was another one of, like, the famous primatologists, maybe? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember enough of it to know. But yeah, as far as we're concerned, since I don't remember the statistics, we'll give peace and love to Jane Goodall. And it'll just be the other woman. You're not rough, Theta. You're correcting me. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't let me spout misinformation. Are you kidding me? One day when me saying shit about Goodall gets clipped, I know you'll have my back. That we know 10 minutes later in that stream we went, oh, sorry, we're using the wrong name. You're fine. You should say shit if I'm saying shit incorrectly. Oh my god, don't let me spew nonsense. Please, by all means. You're good. You're in the correct. My god. I'm never trying to spew nonsense. But it doesn't matter, right? The effect matters more than your intent, not necessarily more, but sometimes more than your intentions. So I'd rather have you be like, actually, you saying the wrong name than something else, you know? So no, it's a thank you. Don't worry about it at all. You're fine. You can't be rough. You're good. You're all good. You're good. But yeah, it was interesting to learn about that kind of like communication and stuff. I was like, oh, cool. Because I really don't know anything about it. I loved biology and I like learning about like animals and evolution and that kind of jazz, but I was never like, that was never quite my jam because I'm just not a science person. I could have still been more polite about it. I don't think so. I think you were fine. For clarification, Jane Goodall is, as far as I know, a reputable primatologist. The woman you are thinking of is Dr. Penny Patterson. No, you were polite. I think you were polite. You did not pull a, actually? Excuse me? You were just like, oh, wait. As far as I understand, that is incorrect. You're good. You're good, Theta. I think you were fine. I would tell you. I trust you enough in this community that I would tell you if I was like, whoa, bitch. Step on my toes. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I take no offense. Now, if you were new here, I might. But I take no offense. It takes a lot to offend me. It's all good. Oh, I just realized that I think everything's muted. I think you're only hearing me. Yeah, okay. That scared me for a second. I saw bars moving. I was like, why is it moving? What is happening? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That kind of jazz is interesting, though. When it comes to, like, evolution and fun facts and all that jazz. Oh, I like those little emojis, Kimberly. Those are cute. The little gorilla emojis. Those are cute. I like those. I am, however, fond of, actually, the show is good. Actually, the show is good. I'll give credit where credit's due. That's a good show. I mean, anything Dropout makes is good. Genuinely, anything in Dropout makes is good. You know, if I had the ability to pay for Dropout, use Dropout, I would, and I'd watch it. Everything they make is great. It's funny because I've been looking at, especially with the one of our cameras breaking and me having to pay for a new one, I've been looking at, like, temporary, or what do they call them? Is it temporary? What do they call them? Contract jobs, whatever it is, right? Like, you know how when the holidays come, they open up positions for just holidays and then you don't do it anymore? I've been looking at that because I've been looking at scare actor stuff in order to make up the funds for the camera that we now need to buy. So I think I might do some of that, which means I may miss a stream or two here or there in the month of October. But I've been looking at stuff like that, and it's funny because on my radar, I always keep YouTube channels that I enjoy and think I could be a cast member of on my, like, list of, are they hiring yet? No? Okay. You know what I mean? So it's funny because, like, I always have Smosh on my radar because I know they don't hold open auditions, but if Smosh ever held an open audition, oh my God, I would fucking move to California. As bad as that place is, I'd fucking move to California to be on Smosh. I love those bitches. They're fire. And I would love to be in a job like that. The other one, which is even crazier, No Rules Barred. I'm a huge board game person. Y'all know this. Beyond just TTRPGs, I adore board games. I'm a huge board game person. So No Rules Barred is a board game channel, but they're in fucking London. So they're always on my list where I'm like, listen, if one day No Rules Barred did auditions and I saw an audition for it, I would move, I would get a fucking work visa and go to London to work for them. Like, they're amazing. Like, that shit's fire. I love everything they do. Oh my God. It's just so funny because since I've been looking at the temporary jobs because of all the jazz that's happening, I always check back with those when I look for temporary jobs where I'm like, you open? You got a spot? You open? Are you taking new people? Like, oh my God. That's always the funniest jazz on the planet. Because I'm like, I'll fly to where you're at. I'll go live where you're at for however long you'll have me. Like, fucking work visa to London, I swear to God. I actually liked London. I know a lot of people do not like London and parts of England, which is totally chill. I think you tend to dislike anywhere you grow up. That's just how things work because you have so many negative associations with that area, that's just gonna be how you think, and you'll think no place is worse than you. But when I was there, I really enjoyed London. It's really like New York City, except no guns, so you don't have to fear getting fucking shot. Like, if you want New York City but without guns, I mean, I will say their transportation is not great. And they think their public transportation is amazing. It's not super great. But again, nobody's pushing you onto tracks and nobody's shooting you. So, you take what you can get. You know what I mean? So I liked London while I was there. Which is funny because I also went to Dublin. And I have family in Ireland. I'm an Irish gal. I hated Dublin. I love Ireland. I loved the people. But Dublin felt like a trashy New Jersey style city. Sorry, New Jersey, you know it's coming to you. It just felt like there was no love in the actual city. And I was like, bro, what is happening here? You are Dublin. What the fuck? And I feel like there weren't enough Irish people. That's crazy, but I genuinely do think that. Now, it could be the internal heritage bias coming out in me, because when I say my family are in Ireland, they're in Northern Ireland. So maybe it's just internal disputes coming out in my blood. I don't know. Maybe I gotta go to Belfast. Maybe I'll like Belfast, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I gotta go up there. But, nah, it's just personal opinion. I also thought, it seems to be like every city I think I'm gonna love, I hate. And every city I don't think I'm gonna like, I like. I love the goats, Kimberly. They're cute. I went to Boston, and I thought I was gonna love Boston. Did not like it. Did not like the energy, did not like the people, did not care for it, was not my vibe. Philly, I adore. I adore Philadelphia. Most people hate Philadelphia. New York City, I actually really like New York City. My issue is it's not viable to live there. Like, it's just not. You can't. Unless you work on Wall Street. And if you work on Wall Street, why would you want to live in the city? You know what I mean? So, if there was a way for me as a creative to live there, I would love to live in New York City. It's got my energy all over it. I love the people and the busyness and the energy. I think it's great. I don't know, man. Cities are weird. It's never what you expect them to be, which I find very interesting. It's like, we always have these sort of preconceived notions of how places are going to be and how people are going to be and all that kind of jazz. And they're not usually correct. Some parts of them are accurate, because even the thing with stereotypes, right, is stereotypes are born out of a truth. They just get skewed and skewed and skewed and skewed and tornadoed. So there's something in some aspects that are correct, but not every single one, you know? So it's interesting to learn that kind of jazz and what fits with the mentality you thought it was going to be, what doesn't, all that kind of stuff. I've been long curious about the apparent paradox of your family being Catholic and from Belfast, which I believe is traditionally Protestant territory. I think it's the other way around. Hold on. I think it's the other way around. Damn! Okay, so you're right, Theta. Okay, so technically you're right, Theta. The Republic, sorry, not the Southern. The Republic is technically the Catholic side, whereas the Northern Interstate is British Protestants. However, according to the 2021 census, not by a lot. About 42% in Northern Ireland are Catholic. So it's only 60-something. but I get where you're coming from, and your point does stand. It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. So, yes, you have a point. I don't know the history. I've never actually gotten to speak with my Irish family. I really, really want to. I want to go visit them in Belfast. But my mother was very connected to them because it's her side of the family. But when she died, I had never spoken to any of them. So I still haven't really talked to any of them. But one day I will, and I'll live stream from there, and I'll walk you guys around Belfast. But all I know is you want to know what's funny about it being a paradox? It doesn't stop there. It's not just already weird that my family is Catholic in Northern Ireland. Let me tell you a story. So, my mother was 100% Irish. She was her first generation American because her dad, my grandpa on her side, and her mom, my Nana on her side, were both from Ireland. It gets weirder. Not only were they both from Ireland and both Catholic, they were both from the same place in Ireland. Not only were they from the same place in Ireland, they were legitimately like a town away from each other. And I know that's like, oh, well, towns are big. No, I mean like American-sized town where you walk down the street. Like you walk down the street, like they grew up not knowing each other, but should have known each other type of energy, like they were 6 houses down, but they never met each other. Not just that, they both go their entire lives in basically the same place in Ireland, grow up into like the 20s, not knowing each other, side by side. Then they both move to America, to the exact same city, and meet and fall in love. That is how paradox my Catholic family in the Protestant side of Ireland is. What type of anime romance scenario did I just walk into? Yeah, 7. So Theta was commenting about how it's kind of funny and a little bit of a paradox that my Irish family is Catholic, but they're in Belfast, which is the northern side of Ireland, which at the time was the Protestant side of Ireland. And I'm just explaining how it gets crazier and more paradoxical. And then I just told that whole story about how my mom's grandparents, which is the Irish side, are both from the same town in Ireland, grew up not knowing each other, both moved to America to the exact same city, not knowing either one had done that at the exact same time, and met each other and fell in love. Which is crazy. So we're a significant minority in Northern Ireland. They didn't know each other when they were half a mile away and met when they were half a world away. Literally, Theta. It is like fucking Ed Sheeran levels of love story territory. That is what my grandparents are. It's crazy. I remember hearing that story. That shit's crazy. Genuinely crazy. Because when they went back to visit parents, they were like, oh, fuck, we're like 2 minutes from each other. Yeah, it's some crazy ass shit. I don't know, man. There's weird things that go down in my family line, and I love it. It does make heritage and stuff weird because, like, there's a lot of discourse online from, like, actual Irish folk who are like, oh, Americans who say they're Irish, blah, 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 right? You don't know anything about our culture. You're like 2% Irish on your mother's, grandfather's, whatever side. I always feel weird saying that I'm Irish and being an American and not having a super strong connection, although I want one, with my family in Ireland because of that kind of discourse, because I know people are going to see me that way. But it's weird because unlike the people they're talking about, I'm literally like 50% Irish. Literally. So it's not like, oh, I'm 2% this, 5% that. No, my mother was first generation. So like 50% of me is Northern Ireland. So it's a weird thing of like, sometimes I feel like I shouldn't say that I am Irish because it'll make people upset. But at the same time, I am. And a lot more than the people who you're getting angry about at. So I don't know. I never knew my Nana, unfortunately. She died when I was like wee little. See, now it's coming in. Fuck. Now we're talking about it, it's coming in. She died, like, the only memory I have of her is literally her dying in a bed. That's the only memory I have. But my grandpa lived with us until I was, like, 12, and I took care of him until I was, like, 12, and he died. And he lost most of his accent, but he still said a lot of jazz, which were, like we, every once in a while you'll hear me say we and we little. He used to say it all the time. Hey, the one that he used to say that was my favorite was, when I was a little angsty tween, if somebody was like making jokes or like, you know, the classic family thing where they go, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend yet?" Hate that shit. The Irish genes are kicking in when they're mentioned. Literally is what's happening. I never liked London. That's fair, Kimberly. I liked London. But not everyone does. But the one thing I super remember him saying was we would go and we would sit at a restaurant. And if people were doing like, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend yet?" Ooh, blah, 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 and I was getting angsty about it, my grandpa would go, "Leave the wee girl alone. Leave her alone. She doesn't want to talk to you. Leave her alone." And he would get this thing on his face where he goes, "Leave the wee child alone." And I loved him for it. It was my favorite thing he used to say, was "leave the wee girl alone." And like the accent would come out in full, and because it wasn't there normally, but it would just come out so strong. And I loved it. It was my favorite thing. But he would say "we," and he would say "film," because instead of film, they say "film," like there's an extra I. Oh my, how I would have loved to meet your grandpa. He was fantastic. I loved that man with all my heart and soul. I just did some cursory research. I think you're eligible for Irish citizenship. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. That would be crazy if that's the case. I want to visit Belfast because it hurt my soul that I didn't like Dublin. It genuinely hurt my soul. I was like, oh. So I want to visit Belfast since that's where we're from. New York City is with the Liberty. Yeah, New York City is Statue of Liberty, which France gave to us, but everybody hates France. What's funny, and I will say this because maybe I shouldn't say it. I use the name though. See, this is where it gets weird. It's like we're live on stream and I don't want to dox myself. But I do use my Irish name. So I feel like you could find it out if you wanted to. Alright, I won't say it for purposes of doxing, because I don't need somebody to go back in my history 3 years from now and figure this all out and dox all my family and shit. But what I will say in regards to the Irish citizenship, because that's hysterical to me, my lineage is significant enough that if I ever get the chance to go over to Belfast or go over to Ireland or wherever, people would, this sounds so bad, people would know my name, which is weird to say because it sounds very egotistical, but it's true. Which is why when I see all the videos and the discourse about people being like, "Americans, don't say that you're Irish, it's so disrespectful," I feel bad. And I'm like, okay, I won't say that I'm Irish, but I am. So it's like, I don't know. a weird thing. I don't know. We have trauma too. What can I say? Is we have trauma too, okay? Our heritage gets washed away. So, I don't know. Oh, maybe one day. But that's crazy, Theta. There's no way that's real. I'm gonna Google that. I trust and believe you, but I also absolutely don't. Requirements for Irish citizenship. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so, right? There's no way. Applications based on descent from an Irish citizen going further back than a great-grandparent are refused. Oh, shit! Applications based on being the parent or grandparent of an Irish citizen by ascent or sibling or other relative of an Irish citizen. Wait. Because they're not great-grandparents, they're grandparents. This is crazy. Means that you are related by blood or adoption to an Irish citizen or to someone entitled to be an Irish citizen. Considering making an application to show the application. Okay, so you do still have to live there. You may want to search Irish citizenship by descent. That's what I just found. So it is a factor, but they do still expect you to have lived there before you get the citizenship. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, that's so interesting that they do that. Wow, that's very interesting. So, technically, yeah. Technically, it's a close enough relative that I do fall into the category of becoming an Irish citizen by descent. That is crazy. That is fucking wild, dude. That is so cool. I'm so glad you told me this, Theta. This makes me want to call my relatives and be like, can I come visit you? Pretty please, can I come visit you? Let's be friends. And what's funny is, like, I don't know, maybe Irish people can correct me, but, like, there are not a lot of kids that happen. So I think maybe there's like one cousin my age, maybe two. There aren't a lot of us, and some of us don't plan to reproduce. So we gotta keep this heritage going. Come on. New activity stream going to Ireland. You know. All I'm saying is this. If I travel while I am now a live streamer to a place that is a different country, or like, at least if it's in the US, a significantly far distance from where I actually live, I will stream it. If you think I won't walk out on those streets and stream, maybe I won't in the US because people have guns. But if it's in another country, you bet your ass I'm taking y'all with me. You bet your ass I'm turning into Sea-Dog VA and figuring out how to put on a backpack with my phone and like a big ass cord cable so you guys can come with me touring the streets. I will do that shit. I have no fear. I should, but I don't. If the country don't have guns, I don't have fear. I'm sorry. Like, bro, you all will come with me. You all can come with me. We'll tour the country. You know where I want to go? Besides Ireland, I love you. Thailand. I want to go to Thailand so bad. I do not have direct descendant to Thailand. I do know a single person from Thailand. But in all honesty, I want to go to Thailand for two reasons. A, for a very, very bad reason that should not be your reason ever. I like their TV shows. I'm sorry, Thailand. You make good media. I'm sorry. And B, because they are, as far as I understand, very high on the list of LGBTQ accepting tourist destinations. As long as you're in, like, major places. But I really want to go there because I fucking love what they create, and the fact that they're LGBTQ safe is amazing because it means I could be gay as fuck and I could meet other gay people. Like, so I'll manifest it. When we go to Thailand and we go to Ireland and we go to anywhere else you guys want to go. Japan is one of them. All right, South Korea is another, all right? When we go to these places, I will bring you with me. I will talk to the vacant void, and you all will come with me and enjoy. And if I have no viewers on the day I am live walking through another country, I will be mad at you. Because you best bet I better have viewers. I literally will title the stream, Walking Through Insert Country Name. Or Live Country Name. That's what I'll do. Because I just think that's cool. I love to travel. What's so funny is I love solo travel. I like traveling with certain other people, but the types of people that I would enjoy traveling with and would enjoy traveling with me are few and far between. Because, believe it or not, this might sound crazy, you might not believe me, I am the type of person who does something and plans an activity-filled, vacation, traveling session. If you are the type of person who's like, let's go to a museum one day, and then the next day we just chill in the hotel and order room service, we cannot go on a vacation together. We cannot go traveling together. Because you bet your ass, if I'm traveling, I will be out from 8 a.m. to midnight every single day doing things. And you better be there with me unless you are dying from illness. Okay? The only time I was ever not out actively doing something in the streets of traveling is when my period hit. Because that's a viable excuse. That's the same thing as illness. Because I was like, oh, I'm dying. I'm going to suffocate and explode and die. That's fine. That is allowed. Illness and that is allowed. But otherwise, you don't travel with me unless you are ready to go. And people learn that fast. That goes traveling anywhere. Because I went on a dog vacation because I'm obsessed with doggos. And one day I will have a doggo, but that time is a long way off. But I'm obsessed with doggos. And so I planned a dog-friendly vacation with my sister so that we could steal her dog and go on this full-ass road trip. And her husband came as well. I am not joking. They learned very quickly that if we're driving, we're having a good time in this road trip. Oh, we made it to our hotel early. Well, it's like 5 p.m. Maybe we just sleep. We just cuddle in and play a board game or be on our phones and go to bed early. Nope. Not with me, you don't. You arrive early to the place? Great, let's go hiking. Great, let's go walk down the stores. Great, let's find a place to go out, sit outside and eat. Like, that is not how I travel. I refuse to not be doing something 24/7. Oh, we got there at 7 p.m.? Guess what that's time for? Let's go watch a random theater production. Let's go watch the local independent theater's production. When I travel, you best believe we are watching a theater performance every single night we're there. Every single one. If it is a 10-day vacation, you better be prepared for 10 shows. Because we're seeing them all. Thank you very much. Like, I don't sit down. I do not take breaks. You best be ready. And that is why, in conclusion, I don't travel with other people because they can't handle it. Ironically, my sister and her husband and their dog, who the trip was for, did relatively well on our road trip. So I will not flame them too much for that. I don't know that they would fully enjoy doing it again, or any other form of travel again. And I have one individual who I can travel with, and we make an excellent pair. Because they are in the idea of, I'll do everything, whatever you want all day, I just don't want to plan it. And I'm like, good, because I'll plan everything. In fact, I don't want you to touch anything. Like, let me do all of it. So we make a good team, and we've traveled before. But if you don't fit into those categories, into that specific category of doing shit all the time, 24/7, then we will not travel well unless I travel solo. Like, I went to New York City by myself a couple of times. It was fantastic. Hoo. I loved, because what I would do when I was living in Philly, it's like a 2.5 hour train ride or bus ride. And so I would go in to see, I think I only saw one by myself, but I went to go see The Grey House when it premiered, which is Matthew Patrick's, the famous Matt Pat. It was Matt Pat's show that he helped produce, I think. But it was Matt Pat's off-Broadway show. And it was a horror show. And I was like, oh my God, a horror show produced by the king, Matt Pat? I have to go see it. I'm only like 2 hours away. So I went to New York City. I had some good ass food right across from like the theater. And then I went to the show. It was a good show. They were out of the merch I wanted, but I did get a little bit of merch. It was a good show. It was definitely, horror in theater is a hard medium. And it's actually on my bucket list or my goal list to make a horror stage show. Which is funny because we kind of do that now in the TTRPG space with our Candela Obscura campaigns. Oh, that makes me really happy. One day, when it's on stage, I can cross it off my bucket list. One day. Hopefully 2025. We'll see. Oh my God, I hope so. Oh, I just realized that we kind of do that. And one day, if we do get to do it on stage, it's going to come full circle. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Oh, that makes me happy. But yeah, it was a good show. It had some good scary moments in it, which again, horror on stage is hard to do, so I applaud it for what it did. It was definitely, and I think all horror on stage suffers from this. It's very, like, highbrow, oh my God, we're gonna make you think about the world and consequences and emotions, and that's the real horror. And those types of, oh, I'm still in Makers and Crafting. Let me get out of here. See, I never changed anything on Twitch in time or ever because, like, I never remember. Okay, there we go. That way people don't jump into Makers and Crafters and go, what is this bitch doing out here? Sorry, Makers and Crafters. Oh, I just realized I can take the roses down. Because the Twisted Fates production is over. Yo, this might be a spoiler for anyone who was watching the Twisted Fates Candela with me in it. But I'm going to say it anyways. I was so surprised my character lived. Myra is not dead by the end of the season. It was crazy. She had 3 ass scars, by the way. 3 full scars. 1 more would have straight up killed her. Didn't take a single mark the last episode. She's alive. She's functioning. And maybe she'll come back in 2025. Who knows? I'd be down if Northwolf wants to have me. But it's up to him. That's his jazz, and he goes how he wants to go. But I'd be down. I love Myra. Last episode did make me cry. I was having full-on real tears. I don't know if you could see it in that setup for those Twitch streams or the YouTube streams. But I was having some full-ass tears because she had this beautiful moment. And I won't spoil it too much, but she has this beautiful moment where, like, all her hopes and dreams get crushed, which is what I love as an actor. And it was a beautiful moment of crying, and I was like, oh, I get to cry today. Yay. Because you should always cry. Cry is good for your body. Crying is good for you. And it was fabulous. It was really, really enjoyable. I was so glad I got to cry. I try to cry every time. It's fun. Most people it's not fun, but as an actor, oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. To get into those real raw emotions, I love it. Theater. That's what I was talking about. So I went and I saw the Grey House, and it was good. I liked it. I was talking about it being highbrow. So the trouble that I think a lot of, if not all, stage plays of horror, because there aren't a lot, because it's not a genre you can really do on stage. So there aren't a lot. The ones that are out there and the productions that have been done are either boring as fuck, frankly, and not scary, or they have scary moments, but it's much more of a drama, and a lot of it is very highbrow think piece. Personally, I'm not a highbrow think piece person. I'm not really interested in engaging in a media that is talking and forcing you to experience a piece in a way where it's like, oh, and we think about philosophy and the impact that it has on the planet and the human psyche, and what if blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not in AP English anymore. I don't want that. I don't want that. There are some cases where it's done well. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for this. Because in some instances, I do like it. And I think it just depends on how, I've said this before, how intelligent you consider your audience is an important factor. And also being very clear in the message you're trying to get across. And it's okay if that message doesn't get across, but you gotta know what you specifically are working towards. And I think a lot of horror stage pieces don't understand that. And so The Grey House was good. I enjoyed watching it. There were some moments of it that were genuinely like, ooh, scary, and the whole audience jumped. I remember gasping at one point, like, whoo, Jesus. And like there was some yelling in the audience. But the majority of the piece was like ominous drama. And I won't spoil it for anybody who maybe wants to watch it, but it basically, the concepts we're dealing with very serious, dramatic happenings and trying to add horror to it. Gonna skedaddle for now. Friends are begging me to play Stardew Valley with them. Have a good rest of the stream, y'all. Go have fun, Seven. Enjoy Stardew. Have a good night. Tell everyone I say hi. We'll see you Saturday for the cutesy stream. Have fun, have fun. So the Grey House deals with a plot where, like, there's this weird house that this couple stumbles into, and it's kind of a house made of, like, ghost girls of varying ages who can't leave, and so they haunt guests that arrive to this house until eventually, like, the guests go crazy and they die. But each one of these women or girls, because some of them are young, have had, and eventually sort of kills them, and the reason why they're stuck in this house, very serious things done to them, is what I'll say. And so, when you start getting more into that aspect of the show, as it's premiering and as it's being performed, you lose a lot of the horror, and it just kind of becomes a very sad, emotional, abstract think piece. And I'm like, oh, we lost our horror. And now it's just weird theater. I don't want weird theater. If I wanted weird theater, I'd go watch Rent. Or, what's the other one? Angels in America. Sorry to people that are fans of those. I'm not saying they're bad, they're good. But, like, there's a very specific genre that those are in. I'm like, oh, I don't want that. I came here for horror. I don't mind if your content is mature. I don't mind if your content is serious. I don't mind if you want your ghosts to be victims of something that's powerful and strong and real like that. But you kind of just made me sad. Like, I that's not what I want. I want the scary. I want the horror of it, right? Like, I want the lights flickering and the sounds coming on and the rumble happening under my feet. And I want the screaming and the creatures and things like that. And they had some cool trapdoor mechanics where some of the creepy girls would, like, appear above or below things suddenly because the lights would go boom and they just appear, which was really cool, really scary. And they had atmospheric horror, which I do think is important. I just don't think it can hold. I think that's the ominous or the lead up or the thriller part of it, not the scare. And I think it was a little too dependent on atmospheric horror because there was, like, this basement where one of the girls did some weird shit that we never actually learned what the basement was. But the door was always, like, open a little bit, and there was smoke coming out, or there were lights coming from it, which is cool. It's very cool. And they could go into the basement and then come out above, or they'd go into a piece above and come out from the basement. That's really cool, just, like, mechanics-wise, and to create some horror appeal. But I don't know. I just don't think there's been a genuine horror experience on stage that is truly like, this is horror. And that is on my bucket list, is to one day create that. One day to create that really horrific experience. That's what I want to do. It's on the bucket list. What can I say? I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess sometimes that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Is like, I mean, you gotta attempt things, right? Because if you don't attempt things, then we get nowhere. So I enjoyed the experience a lot. It was the same theater that I had seen Hadestown in, and it was really enjoyable. And I love the experience of traveling to NYC and getting to be there for a little bit of time, even if it's only a single day. Oh my lord, it was great. It was fabulous. The transportation sucked because I tried to get on a bus to go back up, and it was so delayed that I almost got a random Uber from New York City back up to Philly with like 6 random people. Almost genuinely got it. But I didn't. But that's how delayed the buses were, because apparently the transportation system really sucks. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Good to know. Excellent. Cool. So that was something I learned, which I guess I shouldn't hate on London's transportation system, because New York's is bad. But, like, it is what it is. Philly's was great. Philly's was good. You know, it's just dangerous. But I guess everything's dangerous when you're underground, because there's no way to police anything or protect. There is a way, but they don't police or protect anything underground. So it gets very dangerous while you're down there. I don't know. Sometimes that's just the energy that happens, you know? Okay, so we can work on our Halloween trivia. Halloween trivia. Let me pull it up. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So, we are on question 24. It's not Twitches. That was the one we did earlier. So we need a new horror franchise. Horror movies that we can use for our trivia. Let's see. Horror movies. Okay. Want to do some that are like maybe less people have seen these type of energy. Oh, hiccups are here. Whew. Let's see. What are some of these horror movies that we could use? Quiet Place would be funny because it's a quiet place. There's like no dialogue. I'm going to make the MTA run on time for once. The greatest feat of magic from the Dimension 20, the Unsleeping City. Yeah, they know the terrors of trying to make transportation run on time. It just doesn't. We don't fund our public transportation well, and so it never works, unfortunately. Never really works. Oh my god, wait, what if we did one of those really awful new horror movies? Let's do Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh quotes. That's gonna be hysterical. Oh, my bad. It's Winnie the Pooh honey something. Wait, I actually do not know how to spell this. Winnie the Pooh. Let's see. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, I love this. God tier. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Oh, I love it. I love it already. No one's gonna have seen this. No one will know the answers for this one. Oh my lord. Okay. Let's see. Quotes. Here we go. They made a sequel? Damn, dude. Oh my god. Apparently one of the quotes are, Pooh, you've gotta help me. Something's wrong with Piglet. He killed my wife. That's fantastic. We'll make it match from 23 where one's the wrong one. So we'll put this one as 2. Holy Jesus Christ, that's funny. These are gonna be good. These ones are gonna be good. Okay. So we're gonna have to do both movies because they don't really have any quotes for either one. If you ride the L past Canarsie, you end up in the realm of dreams. Bro, I feel like, so people will tell those stories of how they fell asleep on the train or the subway and then woke up like back where they started. I'm sitting here like, how did you fall asleep on public transportation and nothing bad happened to you? How? How is that possible? Because bad shit happened to me and I was fucking awake. I don't know how that jazz happened, like doesn't happen to you when you're asleep. That's crazy to me. I cannot imagine that. Oh my gosh. Okay, they have more quotes for Blood and Honey 2. Let's see. May God pardon my soul. Oh my god, this is fabulous. If someone I have on our Halloween stream has seen these movies, this is gonna be hysterical. Like, they deserve to win if they've seen these movies. That's all I'm saying. Time for you and Tigger to have some fun. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm using that quote. That's fantastic. Did y'all ever have the, I don't know how Winnie the Pooh-ish y'all were. Y'all ever heard that thing from Tigger which was like, Tiggers are wonderful friends. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. I'm the only one. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Like, the best thing about Tiggers is da-da-da-da-da-da. That song? I remember that song. The other song we had from, like, Winnie the Pooh stuff and 100 Acre Wood stuff, was, Heffalumps and woozles are very confoozles. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Those are the only two I know. The only two songs I know. Okay, we gotta make something up now. So, in this vein, wow, we could really say anything. We could say anything, and I think it could sound accurate. What about, like, what are some good Winnie the Pooh things that we can do? Oh, what if we bring in Kanga? Isn't Kanga the kangaroo from Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Kanga's in here, so... No, who's the rabbit? Wait, who's the rabbit? The rabbit had some good quotes, right? Or Eeyore. Yeah, there's no Eeyore quotes that are showing up for this movie. We could make an Eeyore quote. Okay, we could definitely make an Eeyore quote, because we could say, no, because he's not saying his own name. So they might not believe it. Hey, Fox Daddy! Thank you for subscribing for your 5th month. What's up, Fox Daddy? How are you? How's life? How are you doing, buddy? What have you been up to? We are working on our Halloween trivia for our Halloween marathon stream. We got quite a few questions last time y'all were working on it, but I wanted to do some more, and so we're doing Winnie the Pooh horror movie, the 2 of them. Oh, it's funny. Right now, working on trying to write dialogue that possibly could fit into these horror movies. I'm well, got back home from the convention and working on photos. Hell yeah! Make those photos look fire! I know you can do it. I know you're talented enough that you know how to do all that jazz, so I don't even have to worry about it. But I'm glad that you had fun. I'm glad that you're back. I'm excited that you are here with us tonight. What could be a quote that maybe would be in a Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Is there anything that any of them say that is like very iconic maybe? That could work? Let's see. Does Eeyore actually ever say anything that is iconic? Or is he more just like down in the dumps? His catchphrases are, thanks for noticing me and okay. That's not super helpful. Oh, is he in Blood and Honey? Oh, Eeyore was killed while the other animals were starving. Oh, okay. I don't edit my pictures. I run off of natural light and no real touch-ups. Oh, okay. That's cool then. Wait, so then if you're working on photos, what are you doing? Like, if you're not editing or anything, what are you doing with them? He usually says, why bother? Thank you. Okay. That's what we'll use for our fake quote then. We'll put in why bother. Why bother? 1, 2, 3. But I don't want to do just that. So let's say why bother? We're all gonna die anyways. That's very Eeyore coded. I like that. That's very Eeyore coded. Okay. Cool. So that'll be our Blood and Honey question. Let's duplicate the page and highlight the first one. We'll make a page for question 25. Okay. Alright, now we gotta pick a new horror movie. Okay. Horror movies. Okay. I'm picking out pictures that actually came out well with just enough lighting and little to no movement smears. Oh, got you. That makes sense, yeah, because if you're doing like press and stuff and you're walking through the hallways, you're probably taking a lot of pictures. So it's like, all right, let me find just the perfect ones to send for like promotional and stuff. Well, that's cool. That's gotta be fun to go through some of that jazz. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad it was fun and enjoyable and that you get your time now to just be nice and gentle and walk through some pictures. Feel free to chat. Feel free to lurk. If you have any suggestions, go for it. But I'm just glad you're here and I appreciate you nonetheless. What's another horror movie we can do? It's low-key depressing. Why is it depressing? Because the con's over? Is that why it's sad? And it's like, oh, I'm memorializing all this. I could see that. But you gotta think of it more as like happily going through things and remembering the good times, you know? Just gotta think of it that way instead. Maybe it'll be a little less depressing. Hopefully. Okay. What's another one we could pull? I'm just looking now through all of these. Haunted Mansion would count. We could do Haunted Mansion or... Let's see. Ooh, let's do It. I love It. Okay. It quotes. Let's see. As a photographer, you have to go through hundreds of photos and maybe a handful of them will actually look good that you'd want to show. Yeah, that's a fair point, Fox Daddy. It's like you are a little bit in a situation where you're like hoping and praying that you have a good amount to share. So I could see that being a little depressing. I could see that. That makes sense. But I'm sure there are some good ones in there. And good energy your way. I know you're going to find some bangers in there. I have full faith. Full faith. Oh, a lot of these are fucking Richie quotes. I don't want Richie quotes. Richie quotes suck. Okay, this is a Pennywise quote. I mean, see, the problem is I know the Pennywise quotes because I like the Skarsgård It movies. And so I used to do his voice and I would do a little bit of an impression. So I know the scene where he's like, "What did I spout? Do you want it back?" I did that for an audition before. Because I'm not ashamed to say it. Because, I love that kind of shit. I have always wanted to be a motion cap actor. Hence, we were talking earlier about Planet of the Apes and Andy Serkis. I love that man. And I've always wanted to be like a creature actor. So, you know, that's in my bucket. But the thing is, they don't cast women. I know people are going to hate me for this. They don't cast women as the creatures. And it sucks balls because I'm like, I want to be the creature. But I basically can't be, which sucks. One day. I have a bunch of good ones. Some I just wish I did a better job on. Oh, that's fair. But, you know, you improve at everything slowly and with practice. So, you know, you'll see them now, but next time you'll do better than you thought you did last time. That's how things work. I was scared in Blood and Honey, so I didn't watch it. I feel that, Kimberly. I don't watch a lot of horror movies, even though I'm a horror person. It's just not my energy. I don't know how to explain it. I can't act. That's okay, Fox Daddy. That's okay. Listen, everything is practice. Everything and its mother is practice. Practice is all anything ever is. And I still, even though, you know, I really never got my thing into theater or any sort of on-camera acting, I still have the dream and the little bucket list that one day I will be a creature actor. And I will be the next Pennywise, right? And it'll be fun. You don't like horror movies? I don't know if I would say I don't like them. So, let me be a little more specific. I don't care for movies. I like shows. I don't really like movies. Movies, I very rarely find a movie that captures my attention for its entire time span. I don't really like movies all that much, in any genre. So no, I haven't really seen a lot of horror movies, even though I am the horror bitch. I watch people do commentaries of them instead. So that way I know the plot, and I don't need to care about actually seeing it. I don't care for movies. I really don't. But I love the It ones. The It ones were my jam. Tiny Drew Barrymore Kima? Is that a show, I assume? Or a movie? What other quotes do we got in here that we can throw into this? Ooh, some of these are like paragraphs. Welcome to the Losers Club. We love it. We love it. We gotta use that one. That's a good one. What a nice boat. Do you want it back? Oh yeah, like I was saying, I've done that for an audition piece. So I've done the It monologue for an audition piece. I've done a Renfield one. I haven't done a Joker one, I don't think. I think I've done Renfield and I've done It, the Pennywise piece. It wasn't for an audition piece. I think it was for a project in college where we had to recreate scenes, and I did the Pennywise one. And I did, because we had to do kind of impersonations. I don't know why you learned that in acting, but fair enough. I did Pennywise. I did Andy Serkis's Caesar. I did Smeagol and Gollum. And there was another one I did that I don't remember. Yes, it was a movie? Gotcha. One day we will live in a world where people are brave enough to cover a woman in latex rubber and allow her to move like something unspeakable. That's correct, Theta. I'm waiting for the day. I'm waiting for the day they let me be the Andy Serkis and the Skarsgård. For some reason, I have trouble with shows, but will get excited for a movie. Fox Daddy, it's just the energy. Some people are real strong movie people, and, that's kind of their jam. They like a compact, consolidated, constantly moving piece that they can enjoy and not have to try and stick for long periods of time. And then some people are like, they don't capture my attention for long enough, So you're a movie person, I'm a show person. Just how it goes sometimes. Which Renfield? Great question. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Oh! You don't need to see it. I'll pull it up in a different tab because I don't know what it's going to give me if I look up Dracula. Because it was a play. My senior year in high school, I got to play Renfield, which is still one of the best roles I've ever played. Thank you very much. It was fantastic, and I did a fantabulous job. Even though none of those bitches cared, I did a fantastic job, okay? I was fantastic. Y'all can fight me. I loved doing it. But I don't ever remember... Dracula. I don't remember what adaptation it was. So I'm going to have to look it up. I remember what the cover. I always remember what the cover looked like. But I never remember the name of the guy who adapted our version that we used. It was adapted by David Calcutt, part of Oxford Play Scripts. That is the version of Dracula we did, and that is the Renfield that I played. So he has a monologue in there, and I doubt I remember it. But he has a monologue in there that deals with spiders. Like when he finally confronts Dracula, he has a monologue that goes, the line that I always remember is, "A spider caught in its own web." That line I always remember. Because Renfield eats spiders, and he eats flies, and he eats bugs. So I remember him saying a spider caught in its own web. And then he spiels something about, like, him not being the master anymore. I don't know, but there's a big paragraph in there when he confronts Dracula, and that's the one I did for an audition. Did not book it, which I'm not surprised, because again, not only do they not give women those kinds of roles, but most productions don't have those kinds of roles. Like, there isn't a market, at least not a very strong one, let alone any, for women for creature roles. It's not a super big thing for the crazy creature people. I would love to be in that field, and I genuinely think I could do it, but someone would have to come to me, because there's no way to audition for that jazz. What if Disney princesses became creatures of darkness? A Snow White gorilla, and a Cinderella python? It would be interesting if they became animals. I think that would be really cool. I mean, I guess they all are sort of, they're not all, but some of them are associated with animals. So I could see that energy. I want to do video game roles. Video game roles, I could see that too. Video game roles are fun. I love being in visual novels and the dating sim ones and doing little bits and pieces of that. I've loved working in game jams. Game jams are so much fun to work in. So I love those aspects of video game stuff. I just mean creature stuff isn't on-camera work. Like, I can do creature stuff voice-wise, but on-camera creature work is few and far between, and they don't give it to people like me, unfortunately. But who knows? Maybe one day, y'all, one day we will force it through, we'll make our own shit, and we'll play who we want to play. And I'll be able to be a creature. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to be a creature if I have to take a scare actor job to pay for this camera, right? Because we broke, the camera broke. I gotta pay for it somehow. So in October, if I can get a scare actor job, you might see a little less of me, but at least I get to fulfill my dreams of being a creature, and we can pay for that camera. I have failed to secure any more roles. I'm getting cooked in the audition world. Aw, Fox Daddy, that happens sometimes. It happens, and it sucks balls, and it makes you feel like shit. But you just gotta have faith in yourself. And you also gotta know that sometimes it's okay to step back, because you also don't want to be putting forth work when you are not happy and you are not feeling good about the auditions and stuff that you put through, right? So doing things like photography for conventions and working on the press circuit like that, those things you're so good at and you really enjoy, sometimes you gotta push yourself into that direction for a little while until you find the joy in doing other things. You getting a dream role better be the only reason we don't see you anymore? Fox Daddy, I promise that's the case. Besides me trying to possibly get a little bit of work in October, and unfortunately, scare actors usually work on the weekends, which would be the Saturday streams. But that's a necessity more than, like, me choosing to do that. If I have to do that, then Saturday streams might have to bump a bit. But I promise I would not just fully disappear unless I got a good-ass role, okay? Unless somebody hit me up and was like, listen, we're gonna pay you millions of dollars, come be on this show. Then I would do it. Then I would be gone, and I'd come back on Twitch and I go, I can't say anything, but you know. Like, that would be the whole Twitch stream. The whole Twitch stream would be, you know. Oh, my Lord. Nah, I wouldn't just ditch y'all. I would never just ditch y'all. That shit would not happen. Alright, what? We need one more quote from here. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. He's leaking hamburger helper. Geez, some funky ass Richie quotes. I swear to God. Alright, leaking hamburger helper. And then I will write one for our fourth. Okay. So then we'll write one here. Okay. So, one that we could write for it might be, let's Let's see, what could we write for it? Pennywise's lines are pretty fucking famous. So I don't know if we could fake one for him and have people believe it. But these are all franchises included. So just because someone saw It doesn't mean they saw It Part 2. So we might be able to fake something from that movie. And he talks a lot more in It Part 2 than he does in It. So maybe, like, we could do... Oh, or maybe we could do something like, no, because I feel like, I'm considering, do we do something where it's like, call everybody in, it's back? Yeah, actually, because that might be more believable. Call everybody in, it's back. That might be a good way to do it. Do something like that. Maybe call everybody up. Call everybody up. It's back. Yeah, we'll do that. I think that's feasible for something that could be a real line. Because trying to make a line for Pennywise would be difficult as shit. Alright, let's make question 26. Question 26. Alright, what horror franchise do we want? Horror movies, horror movies. What horror movie do we want? Horror movies, horror movies. What horror movies do we want? Actually, let's do a video game one. Let's pop in a Still Wakes the Deep. Because that's a recent one that I think could be fun because people may or may not have played it. But it's significant enough that I think it counts. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. And it's also like, it's got some fun quotes because it's a like Scottish protagonist, which is really cool. Okay, so that's a great one. Merry fucking Christmas. That's a good one. Still wakes the deep. So we'll put that one down. One. Fortunately, we gotta do 2 dots or it does the stupid little thingamajigs. And we're also not gonna have it censored. We're not censoring shit on my stream. Okay, what are some other quotes? Other quotes. Ooh, this is a good one. And it uses arse because it is Scottish. I've got hairs. Let's see. Hairs on my arse that make a more positive contribution to this operation than you. I love that. That's funny. Okay. We'll make 3 the fake one. So that means we need one for 4 here. So let's get one more real quote. One more real quote. One more real quote. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. This one's funny. Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, and swears like the devil himself. We'll use that one. I like that. Okay, so that just means that we gotta make one up. So we can't use any, like, language that they would use because I don't know what's correct and what's incorrect. So we're gonna do something a little bit simpler. So let's go, like, We could go something along the lines of like, I didn't sign up for we could do like, I didn't sign up for this. We could do I want to, maybe if we attach something with the ocean, since it is an ocean horror, it might be more believable. So we could do I'm trying to think of something with the ocean and fish and creatures down there of like, oh, what are they called? Oh, shoot. I can't think of the word. We could make a joke about like, I don't know what's in the ocean. I'm not a such and such, like a science person, but I can't think of what. I don't think they would know what an ichthyologist is. So they might very clearly be like, nah, that's a Rachel word. So that probably wouldn't work. Maybe like, oh, let's say like whatever's down there is not happy. And it's looking to take its anger out on us. Yeah, we'll do that. I think that's a little bit easier. Now, the only thing that sucks is the rest of these, because I took them, like, copied and pasted them, are fully capitalized. And that shit drives me crazy. And it means that ours is going to be obvious if I don't go through and uncapitalize all these silly little words. I didn't sign up for this shit, Pooh. We're good characters, not evil. Oh, that would have been funny for the Pooh horror movie one. That's not a bad quote. I don't know if the Winnie the Pooh characters, I don't know if they're all evil in that show. Or I guess in that movie, or if they are, or if some of them are good and some of them are bad, or if it's just Pooh that's evil. I'm not really sure. I didn't actually watch it myself, so I do not know. I gotta go through and lowercaseify all of these words. Otherwise, it looks out of place, and it will be noticeable which one is mine and which one is not mine. And I don't want that. Also, it's annoying because I do not think devil is capitalized. Could be wrong there. Okay. So, we will we will duplicate this one. And then number 3 is our fake one. So we'll do that. And then we'll go to question 27. Poor Eeyore indeed. Poor Eeyore indeed. Okay. What franchise can we do now? Maybe we should go back to horror movies here. What are some good ones that we could do? Oh, Megan's a good one. We can do Megan. Let's do Megan. Megan quotes. Oh shoot, it's giving me Megan Thee Stallion. I don't want Megan Thee Stallion. I want Megan horror movie quotes. Okay. Oh, I guess when you don't have the lines on a keyboard, you're supposed to use a 3 for the title. I did not know that. Well, I guess I can do that on my questionnaire here. Did not know that you were supposed to type it with a 3. Yeah, I am going through the Googles and looking at lists of horror movies, Kimberly, and that's where I'm trying to get as many as possible ideas. Yeah, this one's a bit more silly. So the first line we'll use is "You ungrateful little bitch," which is a great line. Fantastic. We will make 2, the different one this time around, so let's see. What else do we got? Sounds like you're fighting. We don't throw people away, we fix them. That's an interesting line. I feel like movies like these, I feel like, are the hard ones, because trying to figure out what an actual paid writer put into the script for a movie that's kind of horror, kind of weird teen comedic is definitely difficult. So I think this one's fun. What else we got here? I don't understand. Killing you did. Ding 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 ding. Bing ding bing 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 ding bing ding bing ding bing ding. Okay, let's go back up because I think there were better quotes up towards the top. Better quotes up here. Yeah, this is the part where you run. Is such like a cliche line that I think it's perfect. I mean, it's in the movie, but I think it'll be a perfect type of like, oh, I could see you making that up for this kind of a movie. So it might trick them into thinking that we made it up. Okay. So, what do we make up for this movie? What do we make up? We could say something along the lines of... We could say... Oh, we could do like one of the... Something that she might say when they first get her as like a robot. So it could be something like... it could be like, "Hi, I'm Megan, your new best friend." Like something very simple like that. I'm Megan, your new best friend. I'll be with you always. Yeah. Because that way it's like got the little thing that these types of horror movies like to do, which is just slightly ominous, but it's supposed to be sweet. Oh, did we not get the last one yet? Okay, so we still need one more quote then. Must not have got the last one. Okay. Oh, no, I think I just copied over 3 instead of putting it into 4 by accident. So, yeah, I did. Okay. So we'll just put that quote into 4. Because I must have done that by accident there. Here we go. Now it's all of them. Yeah, okay. And number 2 is our fake one. So we duplicate. And we make sure 2 is the answer. Okay. On to question 28. Alright, what is another horror piece that we can do? Let's see. Oh, what about The Purge? Do they talk in The Purge? I have no idea if they talk in The Purge, but there's so many movies that it would give us a good range to pull quotes from. The Purge was 2013? Holy shit, that was a long time ago. That's over 10 years ago when the first Purge came out. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. Okay. What's a good quote? What's a good quote? I think if I had to pull one quote from here, it would be the newscaster quote, because it's kind of generic, which again can be the downfall to a lot of people, because they're gonna think, oh, well, that feels like it's the simplest to write, or it feels like so generic that it's gotta be wrong. So I think we pull the newscaster one from the first Purge movie, which is incoming reports show this year's Purge has been the most successful to date, with the most murders committed. 'Cause it's generic, it's easy to like be right or wrong about. So we'll put that one there. Okay. We'll make 2 once again the fake one. So let's look at the other movies in the franchise and see what good quotes are. Okay. Quotes. Purge Anarchy 2014. Here we go. Oh, Anarchy's the election one because it was 2014. That makes sense. Get ready to bleed, rich bitches. This is our time now. I think that works. That's a pretty good quote. That's a pretty good quote. So we'll put that into 3. Typos are frustrating. That's okay. It's no worry. It's no biggie. Uh-oh, I'm fucking with things now. It's no worry. God damn it. I keep fucking with these. Okay. There. Trying to move this one. Does not want to let me do that. Okay. So we want to edit 2. Let's see. What else could we do? What else could we do? Ooh, these are big old paragraphs and conversations. Curious. Okay, let's look up. I don't know how many Purge movies there are. I'm gonna put in the Purge 3 and see if there's another one. Oh, the election one was 2016. But Anarchy was 2014. Okay, interesting. I don't know, man. I never saw any of these, but... The soul of our country is at stake. That's a good one. Can use that. We'll put that in there as number 4. Soul of our country is at stake. Gorgeous. Okay, so now we gotta make one up. So, if we're gonna make one up that fits for the Purge movies, we could say something like, we could go the newscaster route, or we could try and be a person in the Purge. We could do something like only fucked up people take part in the Purge, or how could you do, like, something generic, like, how could you do something like this? Or, what could we do? Let's see. Because it's very, like, there's sort of there seems to be 2 categories when it comes to the Purge, which is, like, the group of characters that are all about it and think it's great, and the group of characters that are not about it and think it's bad. So we could pick one of those 2 to put something in there, which could be like, you could do like, I can't believe you're gonna, see that's weird wording to me. If we say, I can't believe you're gonna participate, I don't think you would put participate in dialogue. That seems like a weird word. As far as you're concerned, the only rule is that there are none. Ooh, that's cool, Theta. Let's use that. Thanks for that. That's a good one. So I was trying to find good language there. I think that's pretty good language. Is that there are none. I like that, Theta. Thanks for that. That's a good one. How about, I can't believe you would subject yourself. Ooh, that's good too, Fox Daddy. I think maybe we want to save that for like a movie or a piece that is more formal. Because I feel like the Purge is too informal to use that kind of language. And that's what I was struggling with, is like, the Purge is so like modern day sort of gimmicky that finding the right language is hard. But okay. So that will be our 28. So what movie is going to be our 29th question? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we could do Conjuring. Does Conjuring have a lot of dialogue? Conjuring quotes. I don't know if Conjuring has a lot of dialogue. It's got a decent amount according to the IMDb. Let's see. Okay, this is a good quote. That's very Jesus-y. Let's do this quote. Put it in here. The Conjuring. We'll make, I think we're gonna make one the fake one this time. So, this quote is, "The devil exists, God exists, and for us as people, our very destiny hinges upon which one we elect to follow." See, I feel like this movie is more towards the wording that we were using earlier when we couldn't think of Purge ones. Where it's very, like, lengthy and kind of more formal in the way that it talks. Let's see. Just doing some quotes of my own. We love it, Kimberly. Thank you for the suggestions. One of these up here I liked. When the music stops, you'll see him in the mirror standing behind you. That's a classic. That's pretty good. We'll put that as number 3. Oh, apparently it did not copy. Let's go back and copy it correctly. We'll try again. There it goes. Also want to bring that over a bit, okay? And then number 4, let's get one more quote. The only rule is that there are no rules. A dystopian idea. Yeah, it's very true, Stuffies. The concept of like anarchy and, you know, no one's in charge and no one should be governing anybody else. It's a very dystopian idea. Also, hello, welcome. We're working on our trivia quiz for our Halloween stream. Right now we're doing Conjuring quotes. And I think the next thing we're gonna do is... there's a funny one in here that might be a good thing to throw them off the scent. Because Conjuring's like got all this language in it. This one is, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers, wackos. I think that's a little bit more lighthearted. So that might be odd next to all of these. And maybe it'll throw some people suspicious. Okay. Now we need to make our fake quote. So our fake quote for The Conjuring. What could it be? What could it be? Fake quote for The Conjuring. Let's see. Oh, you know, we could do something like very Jesus-y, because then it'll feel like it's in theme, and it'll be hard for them to guess that we wrote it. So something that's like, God has abandoned this home, but we will bring him back, or something like that. Something like that, where it's like using like that kind of language. Ooh, I've got something like, for this to work, you must have faith. Faith is powerful. Maybe like faith is powerful for those who believe in him, or something like that. For this to work, you must have faith. A theologian would be useful here. Definitely. I'm trying to pull on my Catholic roots. So I'm thinking for this to work, you must have faith. And then, shoot, I just had something. Shoot. Oh, there's like a saying that's like, those who believe. That gets said a lot in like Catholicism and shit, is those who believe or trust in God will blah, 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 blah. Those who believe will see their faith realized in the eyes of God. There we go. There we go. That's some shit we want. Okay. Beautiful. So we duplicate that page. We highlight our fake quote. And then we are on to question 30. Those who believe in Jesus will have the path to salvation. Ooh, that's a good one too, Stuffies. That's a very good one. Yeah, I love creating these, like, quotes to where they're close enough that you're like, did they say that in the movie? Because I guess that's the point of the trivia quiz. So you really got to think about, like, fitting the vibe. That's a very good vibe check for that movie, I think. Okay, what's another horror movie that we could do? Another horror movie that we could do. What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? There's so many. Dang. Jennifer's Body is a horror movie? That's an interesting choice of genre to put that in. Okay. Okay, why is American Psycho 2 in horror movies? Because American Psycho is not a horror movie. Jeez Louise, bro. I wonder if there are any more Halloween movies that we could fit in here. We did Beetlejuice. Because we can always do Halloween themed stuff. It doesn't have to be horror. Let's see. Not Mostly Ghostly. Oh my god. That's a crazy choice. Oh, that's right. We had mentioned Haunted Mansion. We could do Haunted Mansion. Oh, American Psycho is fantastic. It's just funny to me that, like... I mean... It's probably because American Psycho 2 is very bad and not in good faith to the original movie, which is why it's under horror. But... Let's see. Haunted Mansion movie quotes. Okay. Oh, do we do the old movie or the... Well, we can do both. Because when we do a franchise, it includes all films in that franchise. So, is it The Haunted Mansion? It is The Haunted Mansion. Huh. The Haunted Mansion. Okay. Let's look at some Haunted Mansion quotes. Heh. The first one is the best one. The butler did it? You gotta be kidding me. I love that. That's a great quote. Let's see. That's fantastic. Okay, let's see. Dark spirits, shows way back. Minute, okay, stand. Ooh, okay, so they're including like full-ass conversations in here. Christian Bale has never been in a bad movie. Watch The Mechanic if you have the chance. Oh, I don't think I've seen that one. What is The Mechanic about, Stuffies? I'm always down for a Christian Bale movie because he does some very good work. I mean, American Psycho is god-tier work. But what's The Mechanic about? I don't think I've heard of that one. What does he play? What does he do? Ooh, that's a good quote. There are worse things than purgatory, madam, I can assure you. We'll pop that one in here. Beautiful. Okay, we'll make 4 the bad one. What are we doing, gal? We're just making more, trivia stuff, because I want to have a shit ton of questions. So we're finishing the last half of our trivia questions. We are on the Haunted Mansion at the moment. So we'll need a fake quote for the Haunted Mansion. But right now I'm pulling out the real quotes. So... let's see, what's some good real quotes? Oh, I like this one. Hey, honey, you know they have dead people in the backyard. I think that's funny. That'll be great for our third one here. Alright, so we need a fake haunted mansion quote. What could we do? What could we do? Oh, did I not put... No, the end quotes are not on these other ones. Okay, I gotta put the end quotes in or it'll drive me crazy. Let me go through and put in the end quotes. And we gotta go to the previous one and put in the end quotes. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Now we can go back up here. We can rewrite number 4. Just watched Coraline and Secret of NIMH. Hell yeah. Both of those movies are very good. Coraline is a classic, and Secret of NIMH is one of those weird ones where I feel like a select group of us all watched it. And we all watched it growing up as kids, and then the rest of the population has no idea what it is. It's weird. It sits in that place of movie territory. I don't know. It's like, were you in the group that watched, what is it, The Princess and the Goblin? Is that what the movie's called? Princess and the Goblin. Yeah, like, that was a movie that fell into my territory, and no, I haven't. I've not met somebody else who's seen it. I don't know how that fell into my circle of Disney movies when it's not a Disney movie. But, like, because we were Disney movie people. And that was kind of it. And some DreamWorks classics like Spirit and stuff. But somehow that fell into the rotation. I may or may not be smashed. Hell yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy the smashedness. I hope that you have a good experience. I swear to God, I have so much cat fur everywhere. Lord help me. What are you smashed on? I assume alcoholies. Oops, it's The Machinist? Oh, okay, Stuffies. What is it about, though? I haven't heard of that one. Haunted Mansion. What quote could we do for the Haunted Mansion? We could do... We gotta try and be a little funny. So maybe something like, rum and Dr. Wise instead of Dr. Pepper. Okay, you a rum girly. Alright. Well, fair enough. Get smashed, be happy. It's a Monday night, so it's a little bit of a weird day of the week for it, but you know, it's never too late. I support you. He's anorexic and delusional. Interesting, Stuffies. I mean, he's good at every role he plays, so I'm sure he smashes whatever it is. Ha, smash. Love me some rum. I know a lot of girlies who are rum girlies, which is crazy to me, because I mean, I don't like alcohol at all, but I've tried rum before, and it's not my shit. It is not my jam. I like Tennessee Peach Whiskey. Interesting. We found out recently my sister might be allergic to hops, because she was cleaning whiskey bottles and, like, had a full-on allergic reaction, like, had to go to the ER because she couldn't breathe. And there's very few things inside of whiskey or that could have been left on the bottle because the bottles were empty. So there's very few things that could have been left inside the empty whiskey bottle that would have caused weird jazz. What's with your family genetics? I don't know, man. We don't know if that's actually the case. We don't actually know if that's what caused the allergy. But there's very few things, like in an empty whiskey bottle, that you're going to be allergic to besides hops. You know what I mean? There's not much else in there, inside of it, unless some crazy-ass bacteria had grown. I don't know, man. I suppose it's possible. It could have. Could be some crazy-ass bacteria thing that had grown inside of the empty bottles and just caused some crazy reaction, but there's no way we would ever know that, so. Well, neither of us really drink, though. I don't drink because I don't like the taste of alcohol. And unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, all of the drinks where they hide the taste of alcohol are fruity, and I don't like fruit, or they're candy, and I don't like that fake candy sweetness. So they don't make a covering of alcoholic drink in a flavor that I like, so I just don't drink. I had a drink called Swamp Ass, and it was sweet tea and whiskey with a lemon, and it was very good. Interesting. I wonder why they call it that. Because Swamp Ass to me makes me think that it's going to be like Shrek themed. Because I will say, I had a slushy version of a pina colada thing once when I went to see Shrek the Musical. And it was delicious. I don't really like pina colada flavor. But apparently if you put flavors I don't like into slushy form, where they're like ice, I now like them. So maybe that's what they need to do. Can you slushyfy alcohol? I bet if you slushyfied alcohol, then I would like it. Because for some reason I like that form. Like if you fucking wooderized alcohol, I'd probably like it. It definitely has Swamp Ass, and I definitely have Swamp Ass, then I drank it. It was so fucking hot. Oh, that's funny. You can make spiked slushies. Frozen margaritas are literally slushies. Oh, then maybe it wouldn't work. Because those are nasty. I mean, I guess technically I haven't had a frozen margarita. But, like, I don't know, man. I already don't like that flavor. You can make spiked slushies. I guess so. I don't know. I just don't like the taste of any form of alcohol. So it's not in my wheelhouse. So I don't go for it. If they made one that tasted good, I'd be here. But they don't really. They don't really. So I guess some people are down and about it, but it ain't my jam. But I support y'all who do like it. Get fucked up. Have a good night. Enjoy your time. Drink your lovely drinks. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the kid in the back, making sure nobody's, falling flat on their face. The alcohol taste is definitely an acquired taste, slightly disgusting. Yeah, most people are like, oh, well, you add a little bit of a flavor to cover it, and then you just like the feeling that it gives you. But even like, okay, let's say you cover it. Let's say miraculously you cover it in a flavor that I like, which again, not a thing. Normal people like fruit. So you can have a fruity drink and be great. I don't like fruit. So I don't like the way that they cover alcohol. So I don't like it. But let's say that I did. I also don't like that like tingly warm feeling that it gives you. In fact, I hate that feeling. I do not enjoy that. That makes stomach upset. Me no like that. So there is no part of the things that it does that I enjoy. So I'm like, alright, well, nothing about this cycle is enjoyable to me, so I'm just not gonna do it. I am very warm and tingled. I am glad for you, gal. As long as you don't get behind the wheel of a vehicle, I am glad and happy that you can be warm and tingled. But I also ate half a pizza before, so I'm not gonna get knockered. Well, yeah, and it's less like, I mean, my only fear is the fear of loss of control, so that is a big part of it. But if you take away the aspect of, like, getting fucked up, there is no flavor or feeling that I like in it, right? It'd be different if there was a part of the process that I enjoyed, right? But there's not a single part of the process that I enjoy. So I just don't do it. Now, on the flip side of that, A, it's not legal, I don't think, here. But B, even if it was, I don't do the high shit either with, like, marijuana and all that jazz. That has nothing to do with taste. That is about the fear of losing control. But alcohol is the taste. Understandable? Yeah, it's just preference, Just preference. I'm fucking knitting at the moment. I'm already home in bed. Good gal. You are allowed to drink and get fucked up as long as you don't drive. That's all I care about. I am not a fan of getting high. Yeah, see, for some people, they would rather get high than drink. Like, high is a better experience for them than drinking. It really is just kind of like, what's your body doing? What do you vibe with? What's your energy? Not very punk goth rock of you, Rachel. Oh, I know. Listen. There is no actual punk person in the world who would like the fact that I call myself punk. But I don't care, because the whole point of punk is fuck authority. So fuck the people who think I can't call myself punk because I don't do punk rock things. I will call myself punk, and therefore am punk by doing that. It's a lovely endless cycle. I love the Ouroboros snake. We love him. Okay, eat his own tail and eventually get to his own head. I love him. All right, it's a beautiful cycle. It's great. Oh, Lord. I have, this reminds me, because I do have belts and chains. My chains are intertangled with each other, and I'm really bad at untying things and getting knots out, and I cannot tell you how much more difficult it is to get knots out of fucking chains than anything else. So one day I hope I find somebody who is good at getting knots out and they can get the knots out of my chains and I can wear them again. Because I'm like, my chains. She's just straight edge? Yeah, I'm the straight edge punk. I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't know if that could ever be a thing. But I am the straight edge punk. No getting high. No using alcohol. No breaking rules. We follow society. It's like the literal opposite definition of what punk is. Oh my god, that's funny as shit. It's the Catholic trauma. Accurate. Accurate indeed. It's also a bit of like, now I'm not diagnosed, but for anybody with intrusive thoughts, it is terrifying. The concept of, you're drunk and or high enough that you're going to start saying intrusive thoughts out loud. And if you are not very, very close with the other people in your vicinity that you are getting drunk and high with, you're about to ruin a lot of relationships. And I'm like, I don't need that. Because I don't need that. I'm a drunk square. I love that stuffies. That's hysterical. That is really, really funny. If I do, I apologize. No, you're okay, gal. You're totally fine. It's one of those things where, like, if you have never had an intrusive thought, it's because it's a big thing on TikTok right now. It's like part of the little mental health Gen Alpha movement where people are like, oh my god, the OCD girlies who don't actually have it and think it's such and such, blah, 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 right? Which is, like, good, and I'm glad that we are more mindful of actual mental health and mental illnesses. But it's funny because it keeps feeding me those TikToks. And I'm like, I don't need you to feed me TikToks about what real intrusive thoughts are. I know what they are. I have them. Like, stop feeding me more TikToks. You're only gonna make them worse. Like, it's so funny. So part of that cycle of like, I know get drunk, I know get high, is because those will start spewing out of my mouth. And for people who don't understand what those are, that's terrifying. It's the same thing where, like, when I have people who are like, start to constantly be around me, I warn them that I have panic attacks. Because if you don't know, if you've never experienced somebody else having something like that, that shit's terrifying. It's terrifying. Like, an outside perspective, oh my god, I'd freak the fuck out. Especially if someone didn't tell me what I'm supposed to do in those moments, you know? So I always tell people that kind of jazz. So I can't imagine not knowing what an intrusive thought is and then hearing someone's, oh my God, you would think they're a psychopath. Like, that's just terrifying. So, no alcohol, no drugs for me, but you know what makes it funnier? Because the idea of that is like, okay, well, you don't drink and you don't get high. That means you can always be the designated driver. That's a great friend group, a great person to have in your friend group. Except I don't drive. So, I just don't go. Because I can't be the designated driver. Because I don't drive. So I am a useless friend at the party. Because I can't drive you home. Someone else who wants to get fucked up can't because they're gonna have to drive. You become the phone holder. Yeah, that's the real answer. Is I am the person who takes everybody's phones and puts them in a secure location that no one can access so that they don't, drunk or high, call or text someone they regret or post something on the internet they regret. That's what I am. I still remember when I had an anxiety attack at work, one of my most embarrassing moments in life. Oh, yeah. Oh, it sucks balls. I had a panic attack while I was working too, but thankfully we had a space where I could just close myself away, and I was like, nobody open this door or I'll fucking kill you. So that was good. You need to be the person to record everything? Literally, I need to have evidence. I just need to record everyone so I have blackmail evidence on my phone for literally everything that happens in a party. That's the bitch I am. Are you scared of driving? No. Driving doesn't really scare me. I just have no inclination towards learning how. And I know my brain. And if I don't have any interest in learning the rules or the mechanics of something, I won't do it. And I won't remember it. We already know I don't have memory. And so the problem becomes, in this country, we already give a driver's license to entirely incompetent morons who should not be behind the wheel of a vehicle because our country is dependent upon cars when it shouldn't be, but that's the way it was built. And so we're already giving driver's licenses to people who should never have them. And they're completely, entirely dangerous creations, and car crashes are so fatal and all that kind of shit that I know I could get a driver's license. And I know I should not be driving a vehicle on the road because I don't have the memory or the choice capacity to do it. So logically, I cannot jump the hurdle of learning to drive because my logic brain is going, you are willingly endangering other people because you know they'll let you drive when you should not be allowed to drive, if that makes sense. That is the thought process. Intrusive thoughts are my closest companion. I feel that, stuffies. I feel that way too strongly, and it sucks balls. Oh, I got a yawn in. Oh my goodness. Woo! At least you're responsible to know that. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. Yeah. And moving vehicles put me to sleep as well. And impaired driving, like no sleep or being tired is worse than drunk or high. Even though they're all bad. And the theory is, well, you wouldn't, that wouldn't happen if you're driving. It only happens because you're in a passenger seat or a back seat. Maybe. I don't want to take that risk. Do you want to take that risk? Because it takes 1 second for me to kill, like, a family and their children. And I don't have an interest in that. I get sleepy while driving too. The secret is sunflower seeds. Do you munch on them? And why do they keep you awake? What exactly about sunflower seeds keep you awake? But yeah, I to be fair, what I should learn how to do, and I don't have an excuse for not learning, is how to ride a bike. I don't know how to ride a bike, and I should know how to ride a bike, even living in a city. I got away with it in Philly, and I could get away with it in New York, but I should know how to ride a bike because it makes living in slightly less close together cities viable, whereas right now it's not viable for me. I don't know if I could do it or not. I've never tried. All I know is when I was a kid, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I know it's supposed to be, oh, you just keep practicing when you're a kid and eventually it just kind of clicks and you learn how to ride the bike. It never clicked for me. I couldn't figure out how to balance on a bike. So, I don't know how that process would go as an adult. I feel like it would have to be the same process as, like, when you're an adult, if you don't know how to swim. Like, trying to learn how to swim as an adult is a strange experience and a different experience from doing that as a kid. So I would have to, like, I'd have to find, like, a coach or something. And I don't think that exists to learn how to ride a bike as an adult. I have no idea how it works. It's a cool trick that I learned in the army. I don't eat the shells, though. Interesting. Huh. I don't know. I wonder what it does and the fact that it works. There must be something about, like, the seeds or the energy it gives or something like that. Bicycles are a lot of fun. I was going to ask about bikes, but I didn't want to sound like a dick. No, you're good. I have no idea how to ride a bike. I never got past training wheels as a kid. I couldn't figure out how to balance. I just didn't have the capacity to balance. And I mean, you see me when I'm walking around in here, half the time you'll see me go like that and stumble backwards, and I'm just fucking standing here. So, like, I've never really had balance. Again, I will say the whole bike thing, probably could learn to do it and be fine. Problem does extend a little further, though. In a lot of major cities, which is where I would use learning about, like, riding a bike, you actually still have to know the same laws that you need to know for driving, which I don't know because I don't drive. Because in cities, you are not allowed to bike on the sidewalk. It's literally illegal. So you have to be in the bike lane, and you have to be following the rules for cars because you're on the road. I don't know any of those rules because I don't drive. So I would have to sit down and try and independently study the rules of the road and hope and pray that I'm correct. Like, it's not an easy thing. It's not an accessible thing because cars shouldn't be accessible. Our country shouldn't run on cars. So it's a weird position where I hope I never have to drive, but by consequence of never learning how to drive, it also means that I basically can't learn how to ride a bike. Or if I did learn how to ride a bike, it's pointless, is what I should say. It's mostly about forward momentum. That's what I could see. Like, I could see bikes being about, like, forward momentum. Like, once you get it moving, as long as you keep it moving, it's automatically going to stay balanced. So I could see that being the case, which is why I don't think it would be impossible for me to learn how to do it as an adult. It would be tricky. I don't think it's impossible. It's just not helpful because I don't know the rules of the road. So what's the point? You know what I mean? Listen here, hippie. Listen. Alright, I missed my era. Screw punks. I'm a hippie. Oh my god. Throw some peace signs on me, like. Flower child up in here. No wars, no wars. I mean, yeah, no wars, but we don't call ourselves flower child anymore. It's not what you get called. Oh, what are we on? Haunted Mansion? We're trying to think of a fake quote for Haunted Mansion. The easiest thing to remember is to ride with the flow of traffic. That's okay, but that's not, how do I put this? The things that you think are basic for driving, I don't even know those. So, like, I have no idea what white lines and yellow lines and double lines and yellow signs versus white signs versus red signs or any of the terminology that those signs use. I have no idea who turns first at a stoplight that's blinking. I have no idea if you're supposed to be allowed to go through a yellow or when you go on a green or do you look left or right or none of it. No concept whatsoever because I've not gone to driver's ed. Like I've never done any of that. So I have no idea because I didn't have to learn it. And I didn't want to learn it, so I didn't. Rachel, my friend, how are you still alive? Family? I'm very privileged to have family who has literally driven me everywhere my entire life. And in the 6 years they didn't drive me places, I was living in Center City, Philadelphia. And that's why I moved to a major city. Because I literally said, I don't drive, I do not ride a bike, I have no interest in learning either. The only place I can live is a major metropolitan city, and that means New York City or Philadelphia. And arguably Boston were the three. Because there really is no other condensed enough city to plop me in the center of. There theoretically is with transportation, right? So you could go like in a bit further south. Like probably maybe Austin, Texas, some of the Dakotas, things like that. But even like California is not walkable. Los Angeles, San Diego are not walkable. Philadelphia is walkable. New York City is walkable. So I had to go somewhere that was walkable, and so I went to Philly. Like places that you think are cities are not walkable. So that's how I'm still alive. And lucky for me, I love cities. If I could afford to live in the heart of New York City, I would do it. I am one of those weird bred people. I love the thousands of people walking through the space. I love the busyness. I love the noise. I love the lights, whereas a lot of people don't. I love it. So now I do prefer Philly's city atmosphere over New York City because Philly, you weren't shoulder to shoulder walking with people. You actually had space. So I do prefer Philadelphia to New York City. Space-wise. I just wish it was more like active in positive sort of energy. New York City is fun to visit, but I would never live there, and everybody says that. Everybody says that, and I totally get it. And I said that for the longest time, too, and I genuinely believed that. And then I visited New York City a couple of times. I love it. I love that energy. I don't love all the people. Like I said, Philly's streets are way better because you have room to breathe. But I just love the energy that New York City brings. I'm a car guy, so big engines and manual transmissions. Okay, stuffies. Okay. Polar opposite, I want to live in the middle of nowhere. See? That makes sense. It makes sense. And cars work for you if you're living in the middle of nowhere. You need those kinds of vehicles. I lived in upper New York for 6 years. The winters always rubbed me the wrong way. Fox Daddy, I was born in Boston, lived in New Hampshire. So I had worse than New York State. And while I do not care for winter, doesn't bother me all that much. It genuinely doesn't. I don't like the cold simply because I sweat in the cold, believe it or not. And I don't care for like the ice, but I don't drive, so that takes a lot of the danger out of it. I love the city. The energy is intoxicating. I love the different kinds of people. Yeah. The energy is like everything that I could want. I used to visit Boston for an indie game convention. So I thought I would love Boston because I loved it as a little baby kid. And I went back on a vacation. We stopped in it for like a day. Me and some family. And I hated it. I did not enjoy anything about it. The atmosphere, the way it was laid out, the energy of the people, I didn't like it. I was like, damn, I really misjudge the places that I think I'm going to hate or think I'm going to love because I thought I'd hate New York City and I loved it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You don't have the Boston accent, though? So if I get heated enough, the Boston comes out. Can you park the car at the bar? You can park the car at the bar if you wanna. The Boston can come forward a little bit. If I get heated enough, you'll hear it. I never truly have had a Boston accent because we didn't live in Boston. We lived in New Hampshire. We lived right on the border. So, born in Boston, lived on the New Hampshire border. So, we weren't surrounded by the accent. We never had the accent. But there's a team, we used to visit Boston a lot because we went on the duck boats. The duck boats are everything. And so there is a little bit of that'll come out when I get heated. I thought I was going to like San Francisco, but I was okay just visiting California and seeing the painted ladies. Yeah, I would like to visit California. I don't think I would like it, but again, I seem to be very bad at determining the areas I like and don't like. So I don't know. Everybody has pros and cons, and it's just what is more important to you, and so you're willing to take the cons, and what are your must-haves. Like if we go for TLC style, what are your must-haves that you're not willing to give up, and what are things you're willing to give up, you know? The horrendous traffic people say about California is very true. See, I wouldn't have that issue, but also California's not walkable, so I can't live there anyways. Oh, I'm from the Bay Area. Been to San Francisco many times. No way! Dude, that's so cool. What do you think of it, Stuffies? Do you consider traffic bad? Do you think it's walkable? What about public transportation? I'm interested. I have so many people who I've done TTRPGs with who are like, yo, if you ever do anything, let me know. I'll come down. And I'm like, ooh, I'm on the East Coast. And they're like, You're not in California? I'm like, no. And they're like, but you do acting things. I'm like, I know. But it's terrible in terms of transportation. Yeah. That's what I've heard. Okay. So at least that's the truth. Okay, let's make this fake quote, and then I think we're gonna end stream for the night. So for Haunted Mansion, we want something a little silly, a little fun. Maybe something like, maybe like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? I think someone's, singing, I think would be cute. You're not allowed to leave, Rachel? Oh, well. And listen, You ain't paying me to be here. Oh, wait, you did subscribe. You did pay me to be here. Unless you like scary 5-line interstates, no thank you. Absolutely not, Stuffies. I will never drive if I have the choice. Never, ever, never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, ever, ever. But I think question 30 is a good place to end this. We end with question 30, and that way I have those for our lovely trivia people when we do our Halloween stream. Speaking of which, for my folks who are still here, we're not live on Wednesday. So we're not going to have a stream on Wednesday, but our Saturday stream is a special one. It's not activities. It's not chatting. I'm not going to spoil it. All I'm going to say is, if you need to smile on Saturday, pop in for a few minutes. Even if you can only spare 2 minutes on Saturday, pop into the stream. I guarantee you will smile. Because Saturday's stream is very cute and adorable. And that's what I will say. Let's see. Who can we raid? Who do we want to raid tonight, y'all? What do we think? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Do you want to raid, or do we want to just have a nice, quiet send-off? What is the preference? What is the preference? Oh, we could raid to... Onyx Onigiri is having a 25th birthday subathon. Oh, let's celebrate the birthday. Let's celebrate the birthday. Onyx Onigiri. Onyx Onigiri. Alright, guys. We're going to raid this lovely individual to celebrate their birthday. If you can join in the raid, that's great. Just helps them out. But if not, no worries. Again, I'll see you on Saturday, where we're going to have a cute, adorable stream. I've loved chatting with you. You guys are people that I enjoy so much, and you make my days better. So thank you for talking with me. Fox Daddy, Stuffies, I appreciate you for coming in and talking to me late at night like this. It's very, very nice. And it makes me smile. I hope you have a good night. And I hope I see you in chat in the future. But for now, enjoy your night. And don't think too hard about bad traffic and cars. Goodbye, goodbye.